Chapter 5: How to Deal with Conflict, Problems, and Difficult Employees and Firing.
All right, Noah, we need to discuss a tough but necessary topic.
Conflict in the workspace?
You've got it. Unfortunately, conflict is inevitable, and it's much better to be proactive rather than reactive. You'll want to make sure you properly investigate and address problems as they arise. Can you think of ways in which you might be proactive about preventing workplace conflict?
Developing a disciplinary action plan?
Right. We've talked about this quite a bit. And what would constitute having to enforce discipline?
Not following the rules?
Yes. So the first step to preventing conflict is to create and distribute a set of rules for the department. Can you think of what might be included?
Behavior standards? Attendance expectations?
Absolutely. These are things you definitely want to include. Developing guidelines for your employees is certainly helpful. You can come up with standards for attendance, behavior, personal hygiene, workplace dress, confidentiality, where employees can take breaks and eat, really anything you feel is necessary for the department to function as it should.
How can I make sure my employees actually read these and know what's expected of them?
You should distribute the guide prior to an employee's start date. Have them read it over and sign the back page. Their signature allows you to document that they've read and understand what's expected.
So even if they've just skimmed through the pages, at least I can use the signature to defend my position if I need to issue a warning or terminate an employee.
Right. It offers a certain level of protection. Of course, you won't be able to circumvent all workplace conflict, but you can at least take this simple precautionary action. Issues are likely to arise regardless. Are you ready for a hypothetical?
Sure, I think so.
Okay, so let's say the company has a strict policy against wearing open-toed shoes. It's dangerous because of the possibility of there being nails, scrap metal, and other hazardous debris on the floor. It's Sandy's second day on the job, and you notice she's wearing flip-flops. What do you do?
Review the manual with her, reinforce the fact that she signed it, and send her home with a warning.
Okay, fair enough. Do the rules change if she lives an hour away? What if she sits at the front desk all day, completely away from the work area debris?
Oh, wow. Never thought about considering specific circumstances like that.
Can you see why establishing rules is important, but real-life circumstances may complicate them?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not saying you shouldn't send her home with a warning. If another employee who lived closer or spent time in the work area did the same, you'll have to decide whether you're going to treat them equally or not. Just be aware that conflict may arise despite all efforts to be proactive, and be careful not to show favoritism.
I can see that there's a bigger picture here.
Ready for another?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's say Erin is getting married. She has worked for you for 5 years, never misses a shift, and always gets the job done. She closes for you every Saturday, which is great, because you can't find anyone else to do it. Plus, Saturdays are your busiest days, and she's the top salesperson in your department. But now she's getting married to Andy. She informs you that due to Andy's religion, which she is also adopting once the two have tied the knot, she will no longer be able to work Saturdays. How do you handle this?
I guess I would have to start asking everyone else on the team to fill in.
Okay. What if others discover the reason behind Erin's inability to continue working on Saturdays, and they formulate similar excuses for not being able to?
Hire someone new?
You may have to. Or you may have to rewrite your handbook, including a statement regarding the need for employees to work flexible hours. If they're unable to do so, they shouldn't accept the position. What if Ellen, a new employee of yours, who you're counting on to fill in for Erin, finds out Erin is no longer working on Saturdays due to a religious obligation, and she feels you're discriminating against her religion by making her be on the clock that day.
Yikes, this is getting to be a bit much.
These are plausible scenarios you could encounter. Just keep in mind, with different personalities and viewpoints, including various social, economic, ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds, all working together, conflict can be inevitable. What one sees as a productive work environment may be offensive and hostile to another. You, as the manager and leader of the team, will have to think on your toes and come up with ways to handle each obstacle you're faced with. The ability to be adaptable, analytical, and innovative will be necessary to put out fires and keep your department on track.
There sure is a lot to consider. I can only hope I'll know how to respond to each situation.
You'll get the hang of things the more you familiarize yourself with the position. There are some things that could constitute grounds for immediate termination, too, if you have the authority to do so or can get HR involved. Any violence, bullying, or harassment should never be tolerated.
No way!
Just make sure to always stay well documented. Often, these are the types of situations that open the company up to potential litigation. If you can make hiring and firing decisions and feel the need to permanently remove someone, make sure that you have a paper trail indicating why. Otherwise, you can always remove the individual from any tools or machinery that could cause harm and from any others the behavior is directed toward, and you can send the person home to think about it for a while.
I can see how that may be enough to diffuse the situation.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You can write an incident report and put it in the employee's file, allowing him or her to eventually return to the job. But a suspension extending more than 1 day could be needed. It all depends on the circumstances.
There certainly doesn't seem to be a clear-cut formula for dealing with workplace conflict. I think I've jotted down some good suggestions, though. Thank you, Olivia.
You bet. Let's review. Question number 1. What is one way a manager can head off the potential for workplace conflict? A. Only hire the best people for the job. B. Only hire one person for each shift so employees never interact. C. Develop a handbook for employment expectations. D. Carry around a good luck charm that will prevent all conflict. Or E. None of the above.
I wish it were as easy as carrying around a charm. The answer is C. Develop guidelines that employees must read through.
That's right, Noah. Including a signature line on the last page is also helpful. Question number 2. What are some things that a manager can develop employment guidelines for? A. Personal hygiene. B. Workplace dress. C. Behavior expectations. D. An attendance policy. Or E. All of the above.
I'm going with E. All of the above.
Yes, great job. Those are all things to consider when developing a set of expectations. Question number 3. Why is conflict inevitable? A. A department is made up of individuals with unique personalities. B. A department consists of employees with varying social, economic, ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds. C. Conflict can actually be avoided entirely by taking proactive steps. D. Humans by nature are never in conflict. Or E. Both A and B.
The answer is E. Both A and B. Unique backgrounds and personalities make conflict inevitable at times.
You've got it. Unfortunately, despite all efforts to be proactive, conflict will arise from time to time. It's important as a manager to expect the unexpected and be able to promptly resolve disagreements. Next, we'll discuss how to effectively juggle the rest of the managerial responsibilities.